something. So how's that feel to see that?
Well, it just shows what this can do for communities. We made this case over many, many years that this bridge was too busy and too old, and it needed a new bridge for the auto traffic. And then to have this be this, I consider it the most beautiful bridge in the Midwest. I really do. Have it that new bridge, and then be able to use this in such a great way. Hearing those numbers of how many people have been walking and biking already, this is going to make it even better. And it just becomes a jewel for new development of small businesses and the like, and tourism in this region. So it was a win-win on so many fronts, and it is one of the arguments for infrastructure matters. Infrastructure brings in business. If people feel good about walking around or hiking and doing things and biking, they're going to come to an area and they're going to spend money when they get here.
What do you think of the restored color?
I like it. Now, purple might have been a little much with the natural setting, and I don't consider it a Packers green. I consider it a National Park Service green. That's what we're calling it. We're not going with the Packers
green. I wonder
green.
if the Wisconsin side will say something different on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else you want to say while I have you?
It's not very often Gophers and Badgers agree on
exactly.
Talk about the partnership, maybe between
Sure.
your colleagues from Wisconsin
Yeah.
in the Senate and maybe at the local
Yeah, well, Senator Baldwin and I are very close friends, but in this case, way back, Congressman Duffy and I led the bills along with Representative Bachman. So it was bipartisan and across the river, and it just shows, as was noted, the river doesn't divide us, it unites us. And he and I actually had a lot of fun working on this, if truth be known. There were a lot of ins and outs. The House had their own issues they had to deal with on this, and we were excited when we went first. We got it done. We were under a huge time constraint because at the time had run out on keeping the money, and we had to get the exemption to the Scenic Rivers Act.
And you're from up north. You know how big the scenic part of Minnesota is. When you come to Stillwater, does it kind of remind you of home in the scenic part of our
Well,
state?
it does. Stillwater has it all, with the river, with the small town, with the boats, and the bridge was just, and the people, sometimes I think it's hard to get out of what is, and some people had come to accept this idea that people were literally rolling down the window because they thought they might perish in the river. That's not good. And so many times it was shut down, and so many times I was here myself an hour waiting just to cross it. That's not good for tourism. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for anything. So we had to convince a lot of people that, thought, oh, what does this mean, new development, that this was actually better for the environment and better for people's recreation to do this.
Last year we talked to local Chamber of Commerce saying the interstate part of the economy, businesses on both parts, how does that kind of benefit from your point of view? The business
Right.
between the Wisconsin and Minnesota, of course, the tourism that the bike trail.
Sure. So Minnesota and Wisconsin have always benefited. When we both do better, we both do better. And that means being able to cross those state divides and think, okay, yeah, I'm spending a little money on this, it might help Minnesota, but it also helps us, or the opposite. And that's what this region has been able to do. I see the same thing in Fargo-Moorhead, or as I call it, Moorhead-Fargo, because there, we're working on a major flood project. Some people make the argument, oh, Moorhead is higher, so if there was a flood, it would only hurt Fargo. I'm like, no, it would bring down the whole region. And so that's this region saw that it rise and falls together. And so letting it rise with these two beautiful bridges was the way to go.
And then the local, Ted, and then Gary at the county level. I mean, from Gary, you're in
Oh, no, Gary. I saw Gary and I thought Gary is the bridge to me. Gary never gave up. Lumberjack parades, I used to do those with him. He was showing his bipartisan support, and there he was today. So there were a lot of very familiar faces that brought a smile to my face because they never gave up on this project.
Well, thank you for all your work.
All right.